Alrighty folks, it is that time again. We need to wash GTI. It snowed recently. I had to drive in the snow. So the GTI is filthy. I am playing around with two different wheel cleaners. I'll go ahead and show you what they are right now. So on this side of the car, I'm using Imbue's Switch, which is a high pH, non-acidic wheel cleaner, which they claim on like decently dirty, or I guess normally dirty cars, it can do almost a touchless. So we'll give it a little bit more on this side. And then here on this side, in the IK foamer, I have the Imbue Reset diluted, if I can get this out, about 10-to-1. Just been foaming that on, letting it dwell. I really like the dwell time of it, so yeah, that's on this side. So before we go ahead and wash the car and see if the coating is still doing good or not, let's go ahead and see what these wheel cleaners did without having to scrub at all. So let me adjust this right here. And this wheel is pretty dirty. It's a Volkswagen, so it gets a lot of brake dust. Let's see what it does. Now keep in mind, these were already pre-rinsed with water before, so this is just a whole other layer of gunk it's getting off. So, not that bad on missing spots here. Knowing how much dirt my wheels hold on to, I'm actually pretty impressed. This one wasn't as bad as it's the rear one. So I just noticed I wasn't even aiming it the whole time. But so honestly, it's been doing pretty good. I do think these wheels would benefit from some touch. So as a touch-free kind of system, it's actually not that bad. Let's see if it did better than the Reset over here. Just from initial impressions, I definitely do think Switch as a touch-free option did a whole lot better than Reset. But for a wheel cleaner that doesn't claim to be touchless, just being foamed on, it's doing pretty good. I really like that even at like 10-to-1, it still pulls a good bit of browning off the tires. So you can see that Reset on a wheel that wasn't as dirty does pretty good, just touchless. So honestly, I think my go-to is going to be Reset, especially since you can dilute it so much. Switch is definitely a good option, but Switch is a ready-to-use formula. So at least me and my business, this makes more sense for me. Alrighty, so it is time for the contact wash now. So for today, we're using this pH neutral soap. It's from Nighthawk brands called Swinky Suds. I've got it here in this little metering twin neck bottle, and we'll put about 2 ounces in the foam cannon. So yes, I am using the Chemex foam cannon, but don't worry, I'm using pH neutral soap. Ivan did leave a comment in the last video saying that due to the strong chemicals, it definitely could have scarred the coating, which could be the issue. So today I'm using only pH neutral. Alrighty, and I think the best way to put some soap in the bucket is just do a couple glugs. That should be good enough. It's probably more than enough, or more than what you need, but it's just easier that way for me. Since we've got all this salt and crap and mush that's kind of hard, we're going to do a pre-soak. Basically do a foam, rinse, foam, and a hand wash. So you can see 2 ounces of Swanky Suds. That's pretty good. And this is just a normal Chemex foam cannon, nothing crazy special. Alrighty, it is time to rinse off now. Okay, so it's looking like there's a little bit of clogging. Like I said, it did snow. There was a lot of salt and slush on the ground, and I drove probably about 100 miles in it. It's been about a little less than 2 weeks since I did the last wash. So a little bit of clogging is normal, especially when you drive in those situations. I'm hoping that after the contact wash, it'll all come back to normal. There's definitely still a whole lot of gunk on there, but this is more beads than we had in the beginning of the last one. So granted, it did snow on this, and I think when the snow melted, there was like so much dirt on my car. And because of the temperatures, today's like one of the first days it's been over freezing, and it's about to get below freezing again. So for that reason, I'm washing it now. So I couldn't wash it before I wanted to. Alright, so the initial foam and rinse has been done. Now, if you're new to detailing or you just never heard of the foam rinse foam method, the theory behind it is when there's a lot of contamination on there, just like how my car was, it was covered in just some weird, gritty, salty crap. The theory is if you foam on first before you rinse, it'll soften that crap down so that when you rinse it off, you're not necessarily adding micro scratches into your car. Some people debate it, whether it happens or not. I'm not sure, but I always like to err on the side of caution. So I'll go ahead and foam it back up, and we'll do the contact wash next. All right, so now moving on to the actual hand wash portion. Now, I just want to make it clear of my intentions in making these C6 updates. My intentions aren't to defame the brand or talk bad about the coating or its owners or anything. That's not it. Honestly, I am very positive and hopeful that this coating is going to do what it says it's going to say, or what it says it's going to do. It's going to last as long as it says it's going to last. I'm hopeful. The main reason and my whole intentions behind putting up C6 content is because there really is no other content on YouTube about C6 ceramics, their coatings, besides like C6 and DIY themselves. Yeah, I know there's Pan the organizer, but he hasn't made an update video in a while. And I know when I heard that C6 ceramics was going to be coming out, having known and followed DIY detail for a while, I was super excited, but I wasn't seeing content about it by anybody else, really just from the brand. And as someone who is a skeptic naturally, I'm like, how can I really 100% take them for their word that it's going to be, you know, one of the next best coatings out there and like revolutionize the market. So I wanted to get my hands on it. And so far, guys, I've had a really good experience. The cars that I've coated with it have done really well. Admittedly, I am beating up my GTI, and I didn't do proper maintenance, guys. I didn't wash it for 3 months on purpose. And before that, I was like taking it through some touchless washes just to see like what will the experience be for the average Joe. Someone who pays a couple $1,000 to get their car coated in C6 ceramics. Like, what can they expect? that's what I wanted. And that's what I want to bring to YouTube. Just my experience with this coating, because I know a lot of people, especially on TikTok, as that's where my following's the biggest, have asked me about it, simply because there really isn't other content besides the content from DIY Detail and C6 Ceramics themselves showing the coatings. So for people who want to be installers, detailers who want to become installers, you really can only take their word for it. So I wanted to be a different voice and just show you my experience with it. And so far, guys, I've loved it. I did get a little scared with the hood last video. Hopefully, with having done the whole water spot remover treatment stuff, it'll come back to normal. Now I know y'all probably won't be able to see me wash on this side, so I'll just go ahead and stop yapping and I'll cut back to the video when it is time to rinse. Alrighty, moment of truth. The glass looks great. Trunk has a little bit of splotchy spots, but I'm not too sure what that is, but overall, I mean, it looks a whole lot better. So the roof looks phenomenal. Now that's not that great to see. Now this wasn't coated, so don't worry about the cargo box. Still a little bit more rinsing up here. So you can see it's already sheeting a little faster, which is good. Not too sure exactly what's going on there, but whatever, let's move on. Okay, now this is the part that didn't do as good last time. I'm really hoping it's better, that it at least reacts better. So let's see how it did after the wash. So I mean, the coating's definitely still there. It's just not as crazy water beads as how it was brand new, you know? Now this coating is weird because it's doing the same thing as it did last time, and I said I've only hand washed it. The more I wait, the more hydrophobic it gets. That's really weird. So let me just continue rinsing, and then we'll come back to the hood and to maybe that rear quarter panel and see if any have improved. Now this door is doing pretty dang good. Let me go ahead and change back from out of wide angle. There we go. It's getting darker once you have better quality. But this door is looking really nice. Looking good. So, I mean, is it as perfect as it was when I did after the water spot remover from last time? No, but it definitely didn't like fully wash off. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, it's gonna fully wash off and it's just gonna hide it. I do think that it revived it quite a bit, but I really wish it hadn't snowed and I hadn't had to drive through the snow, because then maybe this is being affected now from the snow and the slush and the salt that was on the floor. So, I mean, the roof looks really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna do what I did last time, because even just the back is looking more hydrophobic as I wait. Look at that. Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's all just kind of like a seeing if my eyes are playing tricks on me or not. I mean, the coating is definitely still there, but I do think that 3 months of not washing it definitely took its toll. It definitely hurt it quite a bit, that's for sure. So what would I do, or what would happen if one of my clients that received C6 either Hydro or Diamond Gloss or Hydro Light, whichever it be, what would happen if I got their vehicle back for a maintenance detail and something like this would happen? So there's two ways that I would do it. If it's something like this, where the coating is definitely still there, but it is maybe not as crazy hydrophobic and cool as how it used to be, I would add a topper. Now, toppers get a bad stigma in the industry, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Just like whenever y'all are tired, y'all take energy drinks to boost, right? When you're not performing your best, you'll take something. People go to the gym, they take pre-workout to boost their performance. If your coating is looking a little sluggish, you can try to decon it. Of course, do decon first, see if you can fully revive it. But even after the decon, if it's maybe not 100% like maybe this coating is, give it a booster. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Do I think that a coating can last a lifetime on the vehicle without ever needing a topper? No. I'm sorry. I'm also not a chemist. This is my opinion, but I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense to me. So there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, using toppers to just boost that performance, to get that longevity that you want or that your client paid for, because just returning a car when it's not beaten perfect and stuff like that, to me, it wouldn't make sense. Now, if the hood looked like how it did last time before the water spot remover, and after everything I did, it was all the way flat, I would take it under warranty, under myself. I warranty my own work, and I would repolish and recoat the hood. So it's not the customer's fault, unless it really is, you know what I mean? But if they, in good faith, are telling me that they did nothing wrong and that they've been maintaining it how I told them to, I would just take it upon myself to repolish and recoat that section, because ultimately I want to provide the best customer service that I can. So what am I going to be using as a topper today? I'm going to be playing around with Coach Chemi Protector Wax. I've only got one capful in this whole thing, so in theory it really shouldn't be that much of protection at all, but this just might give it that extra edge, that tiny little boost that it needs to be back to what I would be satisfied with. And again, there's gonna be people who cry in the comments, oh, you're using a topper. It's my car, so I'll do what I want with it. Now, I'm gonna be very honest in the future as well with washes. If it keeps looking worse, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But I'm just telling you what I would do in this situation is, for a car that's performing at maybe 80% capacity, I'm gonna add a topper. So that's what I'm gonna do. Y'all can cry about it if you want to, it don't matter. Now also, Protector Wax just looks so sick. Now, I think the better option would be their hydro foam sealant, but I don't have that, so I'm just using Protector Wax at the moment. But I think this will give my coating that last bit of energy it needs to go back to 100%. So there we go. Now I'm gonna let it sit. You can definitely see it's grabbing more in the spots that we're having some issues. Versus everywhere else. I mean, look at this. This is just the money shot right here. All right, I'll come back when it's time to rinse. Again, to be clear, I want to make it 100% known that my intentions in making these series of updating how my C6 coating is doing is not to talk bad about the company itself, to push business away from the company, nor is it to fully endorse it and say you should 100% go and run and become an installer. It's just to bring transparency and to bring content, because I like recording videos of detailing, especially on my own car. So just that out of the way. This is not meant to influence anyone to either avoid or to go with C6 as your installing company. It's just for entertainment purposes. So it is time to rinse off now, and let's see what it looks like. You see it really gave a nice little beating to my camper or cargo box. So overall, the hood is looking better. Again, it's still not at its 100%, but this is definitely a whole lot better than what it was. But as for real life protection, that's going to be more than enough beating that you really need. So there we have it, guys. That is the hydrophobics update. 2 weeks, or a little bit less than 2 weeks after the full decon. Now, if this were a customer's car, what I might probably do is I would probably repolish the hood and recoat it, and I would probably again repolish that. Oh, there we go. That little quarter panel right there. And recoat it, as those are the two spots that really seemed to got hit the hardest from my test. But I do want to make a claim again. I do think this was my fault. I wanted to test it. It's an extreme way, not washing it for 3 months. It was sitting outside the whole time. This thing is parked outside. It got rained on. There was heat. So it wasn't maintained properly. I definitely am the culprit for that failing. Okay, now I'm not saying all these things because I'm trying to be a sellout and all this stuff. I just want to make 100% known that what I did, the testing that I'm doing with this coating, is so I can see how it would perform if one of my clients did not take care of it well. You know, in between, I think from this, I don't know, the 5th or 6th month, I can't remember. I think the last update I did was 3 months, but in between then, I was washing it maybe once a month and doing some drive-through touchless washes in between to kind of see how the coating holds up to what would happen if someone didn't follow the instructions I told them. What would the coating look like? And this is what you would see. Not 100%, definitely some damage to especially the hood. So there you have it. That shouldn't be the everyday experience. I think and I hope for other people that have had better results with proper washing, at least once a month, not doing touchless washes and not leaving it outside. If this was a garage queen, maybe would have different results. But the coating is still 100% there. It is still doing its job. It's just not beating 100%, and that is my fault. So I want to make that known. I didn't do proper maintenance. That was part of the test. Did it pass? I would say it's a 50-50. It's up to you, really, if you think it's passable or not. I would probably redo those 2 spots that I mentioned. If it was a paying customer coming back to me with those issues, I would redo that. Those 2 sections. The rest is looking pretty good. So, and maybe we would get better results if we did, instead of protective wax, if we did the hydro foam as a topper. Maybe that would do better. I didn't have that good experience with C6 Mist. It can be a streaky product, so and again, use your error. I'm kind of like Nick from DIY. I use too much product, so yeah, keep that in mind. It also could have been an installer error. I don't know. There's so many variables that we don't really know. So all I know is this is what the car looks like now, and I'm going to take better care of it. I'm going to be doing monthly updates as requested in the comments below. If you guys have any other questions or concerns or things you want to leave them in the comments. Ivan, if you're tuning in, if there's any recommendations or anything you think I did wrong, I'm totally all ears. But there you have it. That is the update. The coating is still doing all right, and I will catch you guys next month.